Hello, everyone. You guys almost caught me awkward dancing. I think I just love the music AltNew has. It's very peppy and makes you want to dance. So I stopped quickly. I stopped short very quickly when it came on. I did warn Erin, who is our amazing guest tonight, the March Mindfulness Instructor. Erin Thompson is with us tonight. I'm so excited.
Hey,
How are you
everybody.
doing?
I'm so excited, like really excited for this one, I have to say.
It's super, like, I saw this kit and I'm like, no way, like, no way. There's stuff that was just released in there. I mean, just very exciting.
Yeah, like I really think this might be the best kit yet.
I feel bad because I say that every time, like, this is my favorite, hands down. But I
Like,
think like AltNew then comes out and you're like, oh, but no, I love this now more.
seriously. But this one, like I keep going back and looking at the picture in the private group, and I'm like, really? Are there really 8 inks in there? And I just keep going back and looking at it, and I mean, I truly, in my opinion, like something like when it stands out to me, hands down, this one, I am more excited about this kit than any other one that I've seen.
See, for me, it was that A3 folding mat. I'm like, that just came out. Holy
I
Toledo.
know.
Like, that
Like
just came out. And then
it
it's
was
in the
like
kit.
it was like Erin went shopping and just took everything off the shelves and was like, "There's your kit. We're done."
She had very long arms that day. She
I
was
tell
pulling
you
all
what,
kinds
it
of
was
things.
like, "Oh, and we need this," and it's like me shopping for craft supplies. I was
Yeah.
like, "We need this. Oh, and then if we do that, then we need this. And you know what would be really good? Let's add this." And she just went. It was like she was in my brain because it's just fantastic. I'm so excited. I have not gotten my kit yet. So now I'm just dreaming and waiting for it, like impatiently for it to arrive. And in when we were doing our recorded interviews, it said like, what are you most excited about? And I just kept naming it basically everything in the kit because I don't even know what I'm going to do. And I'm just so excited. I can't stand it. So
You will
it's
know the week Erin gets her kit because she'll be like, I'm sorry, no, I
yeah,
can't do anything. I have
don't
been having
bother
visions
me.
of this for a while.
Seriously.
I need to create.
Yes. And when I get a kit, I just have to sit down, and you know what it's like. You just have to sit down and play with it. And for me, it's a little bit different when I'm part of a team and we're all, and I mean, come on, the amazing other people who are teaching. I'm very like humbled that Erin asked me to do this because I mean, come on. So sometimes when I get a kit, this sounds silly, but I try to look at the other artists' styles
Yeah.
and I try to do something a little bit different
Yeah.
so that I've got something to offer, something that's different and somebody's going to get something out of every single class. So I do take that into account, kind of guessing what their basic style is and what they might do and really try to do something a little bit different. And so I just like to get it. And you just have to start playing with everything to figure out what's going to work. And so I can't wait to get my kit, seriously.
Now, do your visions match? So, like the visions that you're having now of all these dreamy, amazing projects you're making in your head, did these translate? Or when you start touching it, do new visions come in and you kind of go a different direction sometimes?
I think I don't know. That's iffy because my goal, I try to look at things also from the crafter's perspective and not the designer's perspective. And I'm kind of a rule follower in life. So when I get a kit, I really try to be mindful that they've already, everybody has already spent all this money on the retreat. And I try very hard to stick to the kit. And that's not always easy because we know we've got all these other fantastic AltNew products also. And maybe you want to use a different technique, but I really try to rein it in and use what's in the kit and how can I teach everyone maybe something that they hadn't thought of. And like I said, maybe a little bit different than what all of the other instructors I can guess maybe they're doing. So I really take a look and try to play with everything in the kit and come up with, I'm all about teaching something new, a new technique, or, I mean, come on, there, very rarely are we ever coming up with something new, but something that maybe somebody's not going to think of. And so one thing for me, I might have all these ideas in my mind, and right now it's how can I use the watercolor markers in different ways? Because I might be more excited about sharing techniques with those than anything. So that's what's going through my mind right now. Like, how many different ways or kind of cool things because I love watercolor markers, and I think there are a lot of things that people don't realize. They're so easy to use, they're so forgiving, and so many different kinds of effects that you can get by using them. So right now, that's what's kind of in my mind. How can I use all those watercolor markers?
That's where the brain's going now. And I apologize. I'm trying to type in Erin's code is mindful Erin, and apparently I can't spell and listen to Erin at the same time. So I put it in twice. Once is spelled correctly, the second time is spelled correctly. So
thank you. That's good. And I have to tell you, just as a little side note that I don't know if anybody knows, we get a little tip when people click our links, and I donate all of my affiliate money to charity. And normally, because I feel like our family's very blessed and we've gone through rough times ourselves. Yep. So now that we're in a better place, I feel like I like to pay it forward. And believe me, I'm not saving the world with any affiliate money, but every penny, and then normally we kind of round it up a little bit, I donate to charity. So it is very important to me. I love it. And I'm so grateful when people click my link or use that code, so that they have to know they're always donating to charity. And like I said, we donate every single penny to some fantastic organizations. So I appreciate you sharing that.
And that helps too with, we talk about mindfulness, in this retreat, March Mindfulness, and that helps with somebody else's mindfulness. Maybe they're
Absolutely.
able to do something they wouldn't have been able to do because of that. So that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So we got a fun tip out too.
Yeah. And that's very near and dear to my heart. And like, all of my followers already know that, but I will share, I save up my affiliate money, and then, because like I said, it's not a lot. So it's gotten bigger now that people know that I do this, but like, I'll save it up for a few months. And it always seems like just about the time I'm kind of thinking in my mind, what will my next charity be, or who really needs, something unfortunately will happen. And it's like my sign. Yep. Like we donated to the wildfires in Hawaii, and I donated this past year to the earthquakes in Turkey. And one of our big organizations that we actually do a silent auction for is Canines for Warriors. Yeah. And it's twofold, because they rescue shelter dogs. They aren't purebred dogs, nothing like that. They rescue shelter dogs and train them for veterans with PTSD. So it really is like because I'm a dog lover. And so we just, I try to give back. And it seems like just when I'm thinking about it and maybe it's time, something comes, and unfortunately, and I'm able to donate. So
you're guided in a way where it's needed, which is nice.
Yes.
And Erin and I went a little wild, because usually when you start the interview, you start with who Erin is and what she does. And those, Erin and I, we've chatted so many times. We just started chatting. So Erin, tell us, if there's somebody that's like, Erin Thompson, who is Erin Thompson? What would you say?
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, come on. I know my lane. You've got Jennifer McGuire. You've got Christina Warner. You have Vicky. You have Teresa. And then you have the other one. How do you pronounce this? Lean or
Lay? Yep.
Lay. Yeah. And so it's like, everybody's like, who's this person thrown in the mix? It's like, so I am Erin Thompson, if you don't know me, of Everyday Expressions in the Nashville Craft Retreat. And I am an AltNew educator, and I have taught at a couple of retreats, had a lot of fun. I taught the March Mindfulness last year, had so much fun. And, one thing that people probably may or may not know about me is I started crafting literally almost exactly the same time that AltNew opened the store.
Oh,
And
wow.
I am a flower girl. I mean, forever. And it was like someone, the sky opened up and said, "Here you go," and I knew it was time. And so, literally, I mean, every time Altenew celebrates an anniversary, I get excited. And it's been long enough that I've lost count of the years, because now we're at like what, 9 or 10. So
10
whenever,
this year.
how
10,
many?
10.
Yay. See? So whenever their anniversary rolls around, I get excited because it's my anniversary for crafting pretty much too. And they were my very first favorite company. And the flowers had me hands down. So that's kind of a fun fact about it.
So in April, we'll now be thinking AltNew and Erin, because Erin will be 10 too. Yay!
So that's all right.
That's pretty cool to share your anniversary date. That's
Yeah.
a pretty cool thing to kind of share there.
Isn't that fun? I mean, true story. So, I mean, I remember shopping, and it was like every flower set I could buy. And let's face it, learning how to stamp and line up those floral, all the layers of florals, not always easy.
No.
So I am a huge fan. I think like one of my favorite new things in the last few years is the layered stencils, because they make it was like, where have these been all of our lives? And I keep thinking, will AltNew go back and do layered stencils for all of my original favorite? Because, some of those, they'll give you a headache trying to look at those first cards that I did. They look kind of 3D or off. And I just keep thinking, come on, bring some of those old sets, so some of those oldies but goodies with layered stencils, because it's a whole new market. We'll all go buy them, because that's just, if I don't have to buy a layered stamp anymore and I can get the stencils, I am there. I think you can do so many pretty things with the layered stencils, and it makes it so much easier for a beginner. Once they figure out like how to turn them and exactly and it's just kind of a mindset, don't give up, just keep turning it until you figure it out. I think the layered stencils have been a game changer. So yeah.
And as the layered stencils have progressed too, now the layering guides are like, here, turn it this amount of degrees,
Seriously.
or flip this, or they're very specific and super easy to use. And we have a layered stencil in the kit.
I know. I'm so excited. And the thing that people forget is you actually get 2 for 1, because I'm not going to give away one idea I have for it. I almost gave it away. But, there's other ways
Can you give a little bit of it away? Just to, maybe for our special guests here tonight. Could you give a snippet maybe?
Okay, we'll do it. The thing to think about, and I have to try this. I haven't tried it yet. It's just in my mind. Think about it, because we have koi and water, and you have stencils, but if you flip them over, you get the opposite, and maybe we can get a reflection kind of look. I know.
Love.
If anybody else on the team uses this idea, I'm going to be so upset with you. But that's kind of like, you have one side of the stencil, and a lot of people don't think, hey, turn it over. And if you do, turn it this way, and it's going to be a mirror of whatever. So we have a waterfall, right? Think about flipping it over, and then the reflection of the waterfall on the water, because you've turned it. So you have the water coming down. Flip that stencil this way, and then you'll have the reflection on what would be like a pool of water.
That would be gorgeous. Maybe throw some acetate on there or something. Maybe get a little bling in. I'm just like, my mind is now.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
can't wait to see the card, Erin. And I know you don't even have your.
Use those watercolor markers to create that like ripply water look. The very organic. That's one idea that's been on my mind. And I'm really excited about that one. And actually, it just really kind of came as we were talking. Like, I'm like, yeah, that might work. So
see, we're helping. Yay! See, we're all helping here because we're getting you to the gears. We're helping the gears go. So Group mindfulness, getting the thinking process going. Yes.
Now, don't get upset if I don't do it, because the best laid plans. Once I get in there, I'm like, oh,
Yes.
that didn't work.
But at least the idea's out there. The idea's out that it's floating. So is the waterfall your favorite? You've seen pictures. Is the
No,
waterfall your favorite, or
I
the
have to tell you, in all honesty, it was not. And just as we were talking and I was thinking about the water and the reflection, I'm like, there's a waterfall stencil in there. Honestly, that might have been like the last thing on my mind, because I was thinking, I love koi. So how am I going to use the koi? Like, I love koi.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, that was all I was thinking about, was how I was going to use the koi. And the waterfall was probably the last thing on my mind. So I'm kind of excited now. We'll have to see.
I'm
Boy,
so
I hope I
excited
get
for
something.
you.
So,
And you guys out there all helped. So yay, we're all clapping.
yay!
Yay!
See, we're all in this together, always.
I know. I saw the koi and I'm like, yep, sold, done. Just sold, done. Didn't see anything else. Just looked at the koi and I'm like, yep, I'm in. Let's go.
Me too. Me
They're
too.
gorgeous.
And here's what people may not know. And at first, I have to tell you, I was like, oh, I don't know then. But Erin pointed out to me that they're actually smaller. And there are koi that were released, and I love that stamp set. One of my favorite AltNew cards ever was a slimline with the previously released koi, but they're a little bit bigger. And Erin pointed out that these are actually small. And the more I started thinking about it, I thought, you can do a lot of things with a smaller stamp. I mean, there's so many opportunities that it just opens up a lot of other opportunities. And the more I thought about it, I think it'll be a stamp set that the more you use it, the more you'll want to use it and do different things with it. So I am excited about that.
Well, and it's great too, because we have the stamp and die set from previous, and this is a die set. So you can mix and match your koi and have different looks on your koi. How cool is that?
Is it a die set? There's no stamps?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
realize
it's a
that.
koi die
Oh,
set. Yes.
that opens up so many other
Oh, yes, yes.
So yeah, use them together, and it just all
it's
kinds of
stamp and
possibilities.
die set. I'm sorry. It is stamp and die set.
Okay,
So
good.
you can do, but there's the die set. I saw the die set and I was so excited because the stamp set will add like your little details kind
Yes.
of, and you build them with the dies. So, but think of how cool that is. The name AltNew is merging old and new kois together, making a beautiful
Seriously.
scene.
And I love that when you can go back into your stash and you already have things that will coordinate if you have that one. And I'm telling you, like, it's one of my favorites. You need it. But like that you can go in and use other things you already own and all kinds of new things from what's in the kit. So
Now we talked to Scotch about this a little bit. You've done this before. You've done classes and you've done retreats. What is your favorite thing about the AltNew retreats, if you can pick one?
I mean, it's so hard to pick because it's just so fun when you do an in-person or a virtual retreat. The people, the main answer is always the people. I mean, we love the supplies and we love AltNew and we love everything they do, but the people are what make it fun. And so, here's what I love about a Zoom. It cracks me up. And when I'm teaching, I don't get the full interaction because, we're like head down, stamps moving, and we don't have time to interact because thank goodness we have a moderator and you kind of ask questions and we have to get it done in a certain amount of time. But I love that it's on Zoom and you can put faces with names. And, you see all these people lots of times who are interacting and talking and sharing their lives with you, but you don't have a face. And so it's nice and you can see when they get excited, like if you have time to look up and look, but also, of course, we all love to see everybody's craft space. Yes. And then I love it when some people share what they're working on. And it's not always what's in the retreat because they're just listening and kind of following along, but they're working on something else because they're learning that and then they're going to go back and do it. So I always like to see what people are working on. So there's so many things. And so that, I know everybody says it, but it really is true. It's the people paired with all of the fantastic crafts and the teachers and just the excitement that everybody has. You can't beat that.
And I have to apologize. I told you I wasn't going to ask you tough questions, and here I throw this one out at you.
You promised.
It's a toughie. It is a toughie. There's so many fun things about it. It's just, it's an amazing, it's a hard experience, I think, to explain as well. Which it's, you think about it, it's like, oh, it's a 12-day, it's on March 2nd, it's 9 to 9, 6 instructors, they're recorded. You keep the recordings forever. Okay, so that's the day in a nutshell.
Right.
But it's so much more than that. It's like you said, it's being there and being caught in the excitement with fellow crafters at the same time, experiencing the same thing. There's that melding of crafty joy that I think brings you together that you can't explain to somebody until they like experience it for themselves,
I agree. It's so much fun. And I love in-person events because that's a whole different ballgame. But there's something for a lot of people who have that social anxiety or, are still not going out a lot, or they just can't get around, and it's all that extra expense. And we all know that. So there's something to say about having the opportunity for virtual retreats, because if you have anxiety or you can't keep up, it's okay, because a lot of crafty friends that I know, they just, like I said, they follow along and they listen and they watch, and you have those pre-printed gorgeous PDFs, and you can complete the project at a later time. You can try to, keep up, but I know it can be stressful for some people, and that's not how it should be. No. Crafting is supposed to be fun. So I love that a virtual retreat takes that pressure off of a lot of people, and they can do what works for them at their own pace, at another time, in front of the television, doing something else. They can, it's all about what works for them. And I love that about a virtual retreat. And it's always there to go back and rewatch, because I think everybody will find, don't just watch it one time. Don't just try to do it one time. You will learn, even if it's that little tip, a couple of things in that whole hour and a half or whatever it is with the teacher. Even if you can learn 2 little tiny tricks or tips, makes it all worth it. And that's why if you're stressed out and trying to craft along, you don't always catch those and you miss it. So go back and rewatch it, definitely more than once, but 2, 3, or however many times. And take those little tips, or maybe an idea that the instructor gave, and try to, change it. My big thing is always take it. Anybody can copy a card, but then take those ideas and how can you make it your own? Yeah. And I love that. I love to see people doing their own thing. And when they share those pictures and they tag the designer, that's fun. I love that. Love it.
Especially because we have the Facebook group as well. So you can create as much as you want to during, after the event. It's a great place to get information. Erin does an amazing job keeping everything updated in there, but it's also a great place to say, hey, Erin, I took your idea and I loved that, and I added this to it. I just want you to take a look. Right. And Erin will go look and be like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yes, I love that. Or they do their own thing, but they added one thing that you did, and I love it. Like, I love that. If you just get one little thing or a couple things, that makes me happy.
And one of the things I've loved about these, being even a moderator or a crafter, is that I get to kind of come into your space and craft with you. So I get to see your process. I get to see this kit through your eyes.
Yes.
And I think that's amazing. Amazing that you get to see this kit through 6 instructors' eyes that day. How exciting is that? We've all had those moments where we get stuck, and, live crafting, things happen. Ink pads drop on projects. Erin can say, hey, I can show you a trick to how to fix this. Or it's just great to see you and your element crafting and to learn how your process is. I think that's another great thing about the day too.
Yes, I agree. And when you are following along these kind of industry experts and they're on design teams and they take beautiful pictures, and you don't always see all the 10 things that happened before that one beautiful card came about. And I will tell you, lots of times now, when you're doing something like this, it's different because you've practiced this card so many times and you've redone it and perfected it, and you could do it with your eyes closed because you've done it so many times. So it comes out pretty perfect in the live. But if I'm doing like a live Facebook, it is not my best work unless, I've planned something ahead of time. So sometimes, even then, when you've practiced it, accidents happen, and it's okay. You realize it's just paper. It's not the end of the world, and we all move on. I always say whoopsies and off, and here we go. So I like that too, because we are real people, but you also learn at the same time, what are some of our best tips and tricks that make those cards that are just fantastic. And I kind of do that. I will look at a card. We do this, or at least I do it as a designer. If I see a fantastic card that someone has put out there, I will study it. And I think and this is kind of because I'm a former teacher. And when we taught writing, like composing stories, we had what we called mentor texts. And we would read like these expert writers and look at what they do. This is what good writers do. And we would pull one little thing out and then we would apply it in our writing. So I find myself doing that. Like I'll see these, I have things falling over on my desk. Ignore the pile that you can't see.
She has so many ideas flying out of her head right now.
I know. It's causing like turbulence. So when I'm inspired by another designer's card, I will really study it and I will think, what caught my eye? What makes this card fantastic? And lots of times it may not be the stamps. It might be something else. And it cracks me up when I catch myself doing it, because I think mentor texts. We're learning from the experts, like what do they do that I can take one little thing and make all of my crafting that much better. And, and I think that's a good thing about watching the kind of artists designing in front of you, because you can see it in action. And people normally share those tips. And so that's really helpful.
And there's a mindful component to this. It's built right into the name, the March Mindfulness Retreat. How has crafting kind of helped you?
Has anybody else lost sound?
Oh, it's just you with sound.
No sound. Can you hear me? Nod your head. Okay. I can't hear you at all.
Oh no.
So I don't know. My technical director is my hubby. Maybe he'll run down here because I don't know what's going on. I don't think, obviously it's not my microphone.
Nope. But I can hear you too. Yeah, I can hear you too.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I don't know what's going on. It's 7:31. Are we supposed to stop within a half an hour? Is that what it is? Nope. I don't know. Maybe let me get my husband to maybe come down and see if he can help me. Nothing happened here. Oh, I think he's coming. I don't know what's going on. They can hear me, but I can't hear them.
Oh.
Hello? Can you? She's saying something.
I can still hear you.
Yeah. Okay. My speaker turned off or something.
Oh, can you hear us now?
Yes, now I can.
Yay! Awesome.
New technology. It is I can make a card, but don't ask me to do. I'm like, I don't know. Something's going on.
They truly are two different bags of groceries. Aren't they making a card and technology?
I have
totally different bags of groceries.
I have new speakers. Don't ask me why it turned off. But now I know how to troubleshoot. Maybe.
Amy Hill calls them crafty gnomes. I think you have crafty gnomes. They're knocking your stuff over. They're playing with your speakers. My goodness.
Probably. Well, normally it's my dogs.
Oh,
But I'm sure there's I love gnomes, so I don't know what they're doing.
they're so cute, but they can be trouble sometimes because apparently I always say I lost a die, and Amy's like the crafty gnomes, and I'm like,
Seriously. And it's in the last place that you look 3 years later,
yeah,
seriously.
yeah, absolutely. So as my question, so mindfulness is built right into the name of the retreat. So of course we're going to talk about mindfulness. So has there been a time where crafting has been your mindfulness? And what type of crafting really helps you most?
My favorite, and every year I think I'm going to make my own art, like canvases. I'm going to do my own art, and I don't do it. I think my favorite time when I'm most like peaceful and mindful and just immersed in what I'm doing is, like I said, when I get something new or a kit or products and I just have to play with it. And that's the most fun. Because sometimes when we're on design teams, there's just all these deadlines and it gets so stressful and you have to produce so many cards in a certain amount of time. And it's not always fun. It really isn't. And so when you have time and you don't leave it to the last minute, I know. Ask me how I know.
What does that mean, Erin?
When you have time that you can just, and I do take the time when I get these kits, knowing what my obligation is. Obviously, it has to be some of our best work. Is just taking the time to play and ink blend and what would this look like and what kinds of new techniques or what kinds of old techniques can I redo. Excuse me. And what, just that playing, that's the mindfulness that when I'm most relaxed and I'm having the most fun and trying to figure out what can I do that people will think, ooh, I need to do that. That's my favorite part.
Honestly, everything you do is, ooh, I need to do that. So let's just take that off the table because it's amazing to watch you craft. It's amazing to watch you craft. It's absolutely beautiful and it's amazing. So, but so how do you balance your life because you do this as a job? So how do you balance personal crafting, professional crafting? How do you find a balance in there?
I'll be honest, I don't. I mean, I like to just throw it all out there. Now that this has turned into my job, it takes over everything. Like, and I will say, because now I'm organizing my own craft retreat and I'm going out and teaching workshops for AltNew and traveling. And like yesterday was my husband's birthday and I spent all day working. And so I'll be honest, I'm not very good at that. And honestly, I don't have time. I normally don't. I'm trying to think, how do I make New Year's resolutions? Maybe, and I just say I don't because I don't stick to them. But, I actually this year I made myself stick to a resolution. I actually quit a lot of design teams because I want to get back to doing things that inspire me and things that I really want to do. And I've got all these other side gigs going on that I don't have time to do a lot of things that I would really do on my own. And so I actually have quit some design teams so that I have that time to myself. Like my poor husband, I had a birthday card that I made a while back for something, and I didn't even give it to him yesterday. Here it sits right here. And so I felt horrible about that yesterday because sometimes, our work just takes over.
Yeah.
And I'm just not the person to ask that question because I'm not, my mind is just always going and going. And I'm just not the best person to shut it off and to then craft and do something I just love. So that is my New Year's resolution. And the other thing is is to make more videos for my YouTube channel, because that kind of always gets pushed to the side. And I want to do that also. So that is like part of the other part of quitting other things so that I have time to work on that. Because making videos, as you know, and recording it and editing it and doing a voiceover, that is not easy.
Well, it's like you said, like, you were talking earlier about they see the beautiful edited video, they see the beautiful project,
right.
and they don't see the 5 hours and the dumping your cup of water on your just finished watercolor piece that took you 2 hours.
Yes.
And then they don't see the footage that
taking
got lost and you recreated. And
yeah, and taking pictures in the winter time.
yes,
what a nightmare. My pictures are horrible, and you're like, this card's so much prettier than it looks in the picture. What's going on? It's just one thing after another. And we always want to put our best work out there.
Yeah.
So, and we normally don't complain about it. So I don't want to complain about it now,
No.
but I do want to take the time to work on my channel and put more content, because I have all these great ideas, and lots of times I'll hit record when I'm making something, but I just never go back to the video and share it. And I know there's a lot that, I could share. So that is something that is my goal this year, is to really work on producing more content for my YouTube video or my YouTube channel.
I know that makes all of us happy here, because more Erin. I mean, come on, what can be better?
You're so kind.
Very excited. That's very exciting. That's an awesome. We all get to benefit from your, we'll call it resolution.
So in a month, when I haven't produced anything, you all can message me and say, you failed. You failed.
So, text you, I loved your last video, Erin. You'll be like, what video? Exactly.
So we're gonna work on that. And the thing about me also, I can't say it's that much work, because I do not script for a video. I mean, if I mess up, I say, here's what I say. I say, too much. And you know what I've realized? I say actually a lot, and I hate it. But I might go back and take it out a couple of times, but now everybody's going to go and count how many times I say actually, right? But I don't script, because this is life. And I kind of think, because I laugh at myself, and I love other crafters who laugh at themselves.
Yes.
So I don't like to do a script, kind of like, you get what you get with my videos. And it's like, I'm a real person, and nobody's got time to spend 3 hours writing out a script and like talking in a script. And so I just wing it. And I do go back and edit it a little bit, but I don't want to be too formal, because I think people have to feel like they relate to you also. Yeah. And anybody who can laugh at themselves, that's me. And so that's my style, and it's not for everybody, but it's the way I do it, because I'd rather be making more cards than spending 5 hours doing a voiceover on a video. And I've started getting really good at it. Like, you might get 20 actualies in there and about a few hundred but done.
That's okay. It is funny when you edit videos, though. You start learning how many times you do say words. You're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I said that so much.
Yeah, and it's scary, and I hate my voice. I'm like, if I could make it a little lower, and and then I get excited, it starts going up this way, and whatever. It's what you get.
Well, we're very happy. You're fabulous. You're awesome. So
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, what do you have? So at those times when very stressed, do you have something that helps you recenter and kind of chill out and rebalance and move on your way?
Well, I do say when I'm really good, I like to have a routine, and I try not to schedule appointments until the afternoon, because when I'm really good, I like to exercise in the mornings. Yep. And I feel so good. We all feel so good when we exercise. And right now, I'm totally out of, the exercise mode. So I need to get back in. But if I can schedule the morning time, if I get up and I do a lot of social media. Like, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of social media, but it's part of our job. So if I get up and while I'm drinking my tea in the mornings, I can get that kind of out of the way, is the way I think of it. And then I go and I exercise for a little while and then come back. Then I have my day to craft or do whatever I need to do. And that, I find that kind of refocuses me, and I can really put my energies into creating something better. If I like taking care of the business side, then I've taken care of myself. Now, are you going to get me like having a shower and, full makeup? No, it's like take a quick shower and then run to the craft room as fast as I can. That and you want to here's a little funny thing.
Yes.
I like all kinds of music, but I like kind of like 60s, 70s, and disco.
Yeah.
I'll turn on disco music. Like, if I want to be happy, it's like, give me some Staying Alive and the Bee Gees,
Some ABBA.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, any of that kind of 60s, 70s, like, music, and it can vary, because there's a big difference between like disco music and ABBA and some of the other stuff, like that, like the Doors, or I mean, I love it all. So that is kind of when I'm in here and I turn on ALEXA and I say play the Bee Gees or disco music. That's when I'm kind of in the zone, and that's my favorite. So,
and that music is a reset, man. It's almost a mindful task if you know the music that really soothes you. If you're kind of in contact. Oh, we want some Prince too. So we got some Prince.
Bonnie and I were chatting about Prince today, and I mean, I love me some Prince too. So, I mean, I like all kinds of music. You never know if you walk into my craft room what you're going to get, and it might be inappropriate at times because
I could share music. We so could. I listen to everything.
Seriously,
everything.
like everything. You never know what you're going to get in my craft room, and I do. Bonnie and I agree. I love me some Prince. Yeah. So you just never know.
You don't. And I like puns. So I like when you hear songs and there's, funny, different ways you can take the song, and it's just it's fun.
Well,
and we need that.
And like I said, when I was a writer and then I was a teacher, so the words and lyrics really, they say something to me. And so I love that that's why even some of the really inappropriate music, some of the lyrics are just fantastic. It's just, you never know. So you're right. Me too. I'll think to myself, that's a fantastic line in that song. So,
and I love that. It's almost like it's their card, that's their soul coming out. We put our souls on our cards, on our projects that we share. That's a piece of our soul. And I think with music, I think that's why we can relate to it, because a lot of crafters listen to a lot of music and varying types. And I think we have that connection where it's our soul coming out in a manner. They do it in words, we do it in paper, and
absolutely
beautiful inks.
Yes, I agree.
It's just a fun, and you got to have a little dance party, like from Gray's. You got to dance it out. You just got to dance it out sometimes, and that helps.
Yep. Just changing. And I do find that, like, sometimes, when you're working on something, you have to stand up, and it's kind of that, looking at things from a different perspective. Get up. Just standing up and looking at it, and standing to craft. I sit to craft, and I know a lot of people have a stand-up desk.
Yep.
I sit to craft, but I find like sometimes if I'm starting to get frustrated, this is going back to the mindfulness. If I start to get frustrated, either it's time to walk away, it's time to turn on music. I probably need another cup of coffee, but just standing up can change the whole perspective. Yeah. And so I think, that's another little tip. Change your perspective if something's not working.
And I love the other cup of coffee too. I only had one today. It was a weird day.
Well, I hate to say that's part of me taking care of myself. Like, they took my coffee away trying to be healthy. And it's been the struggle when
Yeah.
you love coffee, like the struggle is real. And so I'm don't tell anybody like my doctors, but I'm slipping in a cup a day, and I just can't help it. Like, it's been weeks, and it's over, people. Forget it. I don't want to live to be 100 if I can't drink coffee. So,
We're very good at keeping secrets here. All of us will keep your coffee secret, we promise.
yeah. In all honesty, like, I might not wander into my craft room for a few days. Um, because sometimes, yeah, we just, and especially it's different when it's your job, because and I have, because half the fun of crafting is shopping, come on. So I will get all these things, and just like I have them in my closet, and I don't use them. So it is fun if you're kind of stuck. And when I finally wander back in here after a few days, it's fun to kind of shop your stash
Yeah.
and really see all the things that you were excited to purchase at one time and then you never used. So that's fun. And then the other thing, and I think a lot of people say this, so I didn't want to say this one, but it's true, is cleaning and organizing my craft room. But I will tell you, that's not fun for me. Some people think it's fun. I like it when it's done and it's
Yes.
all clean and beautiful, but organizing and crafting, I don't care. Like, most of the time, I don't care. And it's not fun for me. So I like it once it's done, but there are times I find, like, if I'm not able to concentrate and feel very creative, I have to clean the mess up, and then that will refocus me. So, but I'm not one of those people that everything's perfect in my craft room. Like,
No.
I had to clean a lot of this off for you tonight, and it just got put in the closet, and it'll come right back out as soon as we're done. And it's just because right behind me, I will keep projects that I have to be working on, or design team stuff, because we have to use our craft rooms and how they work for us.
Yes.
And it's not going to work for everybody else, but it works for me, and I have to have it right there so I know what I have to work on. But does it look pretty in a video like this? No. But this is real life, and I think sometimes people see perfect craft rooms, and it stresses them out because they have this image. It's kind of like things on social media. They think everything's perfect, and you see these beautiful homes and beautiful craft rooms. It's not like that. I mean, it might be for some people, but it's not for me. I use my craft room all day long, every day, and it has to work for me. Now, when it doesn't work is when it does get too cluttered and I have to clean it.
Yeah.
And right now, my beautiful desk is a disaster. Like, you can't see that either. And that's why I had piles falling over. But that will kind of focus me if I'm having a roadblock.
I call it a beautiful disaster because it's gorgeous stuff. It just the piles.
It's a sign of creativity.
Unleashed.
I saw a great meme the other day. I am, like, really creative at reorganizing. And that is like that. I'm like, that's me. That's me. I'm creative at moving piles around. It's part of my artistic creativity.
The other one I love is creativity is very messy, and I'm very creative.
And I am so good at it. So
I'm really good at it.
Yes.
Either that, or we have to trap the crafty gnomes and have them help us clean. Maybe if we could get one, we could, help
I
them help
haven't
us
found
clean.
that yet.
No, maybe Amy knows. I'll ask her.
I don't know.
And Bonnie did notice as well your beautiful blonde hair. So I just wanted to say that as well. So yes, I was like, is your hair blonde? Like,
it is. Now, I was blonder for many years, a few years ago. But here's the thing: when you get old, you're getting older, and, like, I don't even know how white my hair would be if I let it go. But as I said when you and I were chatting privately, like, when you're darker and you get it colored, those grays show up much faster. And I liked the darker hair, but it was just, I mean, even going every 4 weeks to have it done, it was showing. And it is very salt and pepper. And so I've told way too many secrets here tonight. I'm so bad at that. It's like I'm an open book. So what I like is that when you go blonder, actually the grays blend in a lot more. So we can just say it's blonde, and I'm not going to tell you how much gray might be in there. So
You
that's
can stick with the old blondes have more fun, they say. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I really liked the dark hair.
I
And
had fun as a brunette, almost black-haired person, so I had a lot of fun. I
yeah,
had good times.
yeah. So, so that's the whole reason. It's practicality. Let's just face it, it's the grays. So
And,
but that's why it's blonde.
I have
Blonder.
to say, we're basically at the end of our interview, and I have to say, like, my mindfulness I'm taking from you is just embrace it and roll. Embrace it and
Seriously.
roll. Like, just go. Just
Serious.
do. And
Yes.
that's
And
awesome.
you have to, and I think it's a part as we get older, you have to be you. And nobody's perfect, and everybody's a little bit different when we do these videos. And, you have to be on your game. But in the end, I believe in this industry, most people can tell when you're not genuine, and you have to be yourself. And some people, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that, and that's okay, because as you get older, it's okay. You have to be you. And it's like, but there's other people who are really gonna I'm gonna be their cup of coffee, right? Or something stronger.
I was just gonna say, Erin, you're my cup of coffee, girl. You're my cup of coffee. Forget
It
the
might
tea,
even be
you're the
coffee with
coffee.
Bailey's in it. I don't know, or amaretto or Kahlua. Anything that makes it a little bit better. And so, you have to, I think the more you are yourself, some people are going to like it and some people aren't, but the people who do are going to follow you, and we'll have a good time.
And I think too, I always saw that, what was that saying? Be yourself, everyone else is taken, and it's, you bring your own. There was a movie years ago, and back in the 90s, years ago, that it said you bring your own uniqueness. So you bring your own unique Erinness. I bring my own Bridgetness. And that's something nobody else can bring because it's yours. You bring it. And we need that in this world. So
Absolutely. And that's what, when I think of some of my favorite designers, right away, Carissa Wiley's laugh always comes to mind. Everybody, and that's what makes me laugh at myself, because that's what draws me to her. I love her cards, but I love her voice. I love her laughing at herself. And so that is kind of something I take away. I love Kelly Taylor's voice. And I like how she doesn't do a scripted thing, and she's one of my new crafty friends, by the way. I just love her.
Yes.
But we all have something about our favorite people that we like. And so we just have to be ourselves in this industry. We do.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to wrap up in the end, it is March 2nd. It is 6 amazing instructors, of which Erin is one. Yay. And we got some tips and tricks and possible ideas tonight, which how cool. And I think we helped Erin with the gears a little bit tonight, which is super cool. We could help out a little. And these are recorded. You get to keep them forever. So 10 years from now, if you're like, I remember Erin did this thing with a card. I have the video. You can go back and watch her 10 years from now on this video and do that card. And you can craft with her. You can pause her, speed her up. You get the beautiful PDFs. You get the Facebook group. And you get to craft with so many amazing participants from around the world, not even the country, the world. We have crafters over the world that join in on the fun that day. So we hope that you will be able to join us. And Erin, as always, thank you. It always seems too short with you. It's like it goes by so
a lot. It's okay.
We like to chat. Yes, Erin and I like to have a chat.
Yeah. It's all good. We're good.
And before soon, literally 2 months from today, we're going to be crafting with Erin.
I have a lot of work to do before then. So
we're all just sitting here super excited because we're going to craft. Erin will have to have her her mindfulness and her practicing her mindfulness to get ready for the event. But it'll be amazing, and we can't wait to see you there, Erin.
Thank you. I have to say, you know what just went through my mind? I can't wait to see everybody's reaction when they get their kits. Like,
I wish we had cameras that when they open the box, we got the
seriously,
shock.
it's like those face cams. Like, I mean, I can't wait to get mine. So I just wish we could see everybody's because it's going to be amazing.
And maybe some people will film if you're watching and you want to film your reaction to share with Erin in the Facebook group.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Just an idea. That could be super fun.
So fun. Because I mean, we don't, that's the one thing about a virtual that you don't get. You don't get that. And that's one thing I love in person is when you give someone a kit and they're like sharing it and they're talking about it and they get so excited. So yeah, that will be a lot of fun because this kit, I'm telling you, that
maybe you'll get some folks that will do that for you to show you their reactions.
I love it. That'd be great.
That's awesome. And thank you so much for making time for us. We're so honored and so excited you're joining us in this amazing retreat.
Thanks for having me. I'm really humbled. Like the other people, I mean, I'm very humbled. So it's going to be fun.
It's going to be amazing. And we're so excited. We can't wait to see what's coming for projects. So stay tuned to that because there will be sneak peeks. There will be unboxings. So much exciting coming in the next 2 months for this. And from all of us at AltNew, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for understanding my power issues. And we had to reschedule for that. But we'll be back tomorrow with Therese, and we'll be back on Friday the 5th with Christina Warner. So make sure to check out all of the interviews to catch up on what's going on with all of our amazing instructors at this event.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Bridget.
You're so welcome. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everybody.